you see it. Your name is Rob? You are Rob.
Rob. Yes, my name is
Okay.
Rob.
It's winter in Australia, isn't it? Because it's
Yes, it is winter. Very, very cold. Different to
I
Europe.
see
I
you
heard.
sitting in the coat.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
it's it's like the opposite thing to Europe, because in winter we have the like heating, central heating,
Mm.
right? So
Mhm.
we don't tend to sit in the cold. When I was living in Hong Kong in winter, I have to sit in the cold because actually indoor it's colder than the outdoor. And it's
Mm.
maybe the same case with Australia. I'm not sure.
Colder indoor than the outdoor. Because
Yeah,
of
Hong Kong is like this. I don't know why.
interesting. I don't know, but it is
But,
pretty chilly here,
but
especially in Melbourne.
and you don't have the central heating, is it? Indoor.
Uh, we do. I got ducting heating. I don't know
Oh,
if you can
okay,
see.
okay, okay. I did. Okay, okay. Now is because I was thinking it's opposite. So in here we always yes, like we will have the chat. Someone is here, so it's not bad. Um,
Yes.
so I was thinking it's like opposite, because here in winter like we central heating like all house, so it's very warm. But in
Mm.
summer we don't have aircon, so we dying. While you
Mm.
use a lot of aircon, but when it comes to winter, it's like you sit in the coats indoor. You know.
So you, how come you don't have aircon?
Uh, I think because Poland used to be maybe poor country with communist, so it changed like 30 years ago, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
also the really like heavy heat lasts maybe for 2 or 3 weeks a year.
Mm, mm,
So you don't actually need the aircon.
mhm,
I used it would be useful because 1 month sometimes is really bad, because there can be like 35 degrees Celsius.
mm,
I'm not sure if you use
mm.
Celsius, and there is no wind for 1 month. But once it's passed, it's
Oh,
nice. So that's why like
yeah,
no one would use the
yeah.
aircon.
My grandma's been complaining so much about the heat. Uh, she said she put the aircon at 22 degrees, and my mom's like, "What are you doing? That does not help." So then
Yeah,
she's like, "All you got to do is put it at 18, and you'll be fine." And then apparently that didn't work either. So
yeah.
yeah, and in Romania as well, people aren't really good with the aircon, I guess.
I'm the guy who would actually set up the aircon at 22. But my girlfriend is the one, like she would set up at 15, right? Because the
Mm,
aircon, it must be cold. She's like,
yeah.
wherever you go, Hong Kong is one massive fridge.
Mm,
Like,
mm,
because all the malls, everything is one massive aircon all year round.
mm,
So like
mm.
it's if you get used to, and the longer I would stay in Hong Kong, I will start from 22 because I didn't get used to, and as the time passes, I put the aircon lower and lower and lower. So it's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I feel you on that. I remember, yeah, I went to Hong Kong like once, and yeah, it's really
did you
cold
like
in the
it?
malls and everything. Yeah, I actually
So
liked it a
cold.
lot. Yeah.
Amazing place. It's like very, I mean, maybe it's not super innovative, but for people who do things, who do startups, it's a great place for raising money and running a
Mm,
company from. Now it's changing
mhm.
politically, but it's like long story, right? I
Uh-huh.
think the Australians are well aware of that.
Yeah.
I wanted to say to you, you know what? We always, I think many Hong Kong people, and including me and my girlfriend, we love going to the supermarkets in Australia. Amazing supermarkets you have. The dairy products, which are super expensive in Hong Kong. So
Yeah.
in Adelaide, I think in Adelaide was supermarket that would open at 9 p.m. and we would wait for
Uh-huh.
this time and go to buy yogurts and like other like fresh products. I would buy a lot of omega-3 because you have cheap supplements as well.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Interesting.
love
Wait,
Australia, love
which
Australia, man.
store? Was it Aldi?
It wasn't Aldi. I don't know, but it was weird because I don't know why it opened at 9 p.m. I have no idea what they did it, and they were closed during the day.
That's really weird. Maybe it's a Cairns thing.
I don't. I used to live in Hong Kong, but now because of the pandemic, I don't live in Hong Kong. Sometimes I will respond to comments.
Mm, mm, mm.
I used to travel a lot, not anymore because I'm already old. I'm bored of the traveling. So, but I will do some more. And Australia, man, like amazing coffee, and you don't have Starbucks because you don't need.
Yeah,
So
there was
that's
like a business on YouTube. There was a business channel that talked about that. I think it was Bloomberg, how Starbucks failed. Yeah, it's
yeah.
really interesting.
I'm not surprised because it's cheap and it's good. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
and
because of the. What were you saying? Sorry.
no, go on, go on.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's because all the Italians, immigrants that came to Australia, and they pushed a really good coffee culture, and yeah,
Yeah.
that's why it's good.
So I hope my girlfriend would like to live in Australia. Actually, she likes it, but I'm not sure if you already paying taxes or not. But the taxes are maybe a little high in Australia, so that's the
Yeah. So I think the median sort of tax level is 30%. I don't know
yeah.
what it's
That's
like in other countries.
in Hong Kong. Most of the people don't pay tax. I mean,
Really?
I don't know how it works, man, but it's like so. I tell you the tax brackets, which start at so up to well, how much it will be in Australian dollars, I'm not sure, but up to like 18,000 US dollars, it's tax free. The salary
Mm-hmm.
or something like this is 132,000 of Hong Kong dollars.
Mm.
So I think it would come at 20k Australian is tax free. Then the first
Mm-hmm.
bracket is like 2%, 7%, 12, and the highest is 17. It's the highest bracket. So the taxes in Hong
So
Kong are very
good.
low, but I think close to 2 million people actually do not pay the tax in Hong Kong.
Wow.
And seems authorities do not care. They often write off the taxes. It's like really, and doing taxes in Hong Kong is so easy. It's unbelievable. They send you the form, and in the bank account you can go and with one transfer you pay the tax, because usually the Hong Kong banks, they have the option in the online banking to pay the tax. So like
Oh,
it's just so easy, so fast. Corporate taxes are also super low. There's two brackets, 8.25% and 16.5.
that's
uh,
just so favorable. Like I might move there.
yeah,
Like
amazing, man.
that's
No tax
crazy.
on dividends. If you
Yeah.
invest,
Wow.
if you cash out from crypto, anything, zero tax. So
Wow.
strange
That's mad.
place. Yeah.
I
Really,
heard I heard in Singapore as well they have really favorable business conditions.
they have very similar taxing to Singapore.
Mm.
The reason, right now, Hong Kong is changing, right? But I used to like Hong Kong much more because Singapore is very boring for me. I visited Singapore as well, so, but
Man,
only
you
for one
travel.
day. Only for
Yeah.
one day. It's like a big Adelaide. Let's say, let's call
Mm.
it this way.
Okay.
Like a little boring.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I went there when I was like little, so I don't remember anything. But
How many places too?
yeah, no, I've traveled quite a lot actually. I'm
Hey,
pretty
Aidan.
blessed.
So let's talk some crypto, man, because
Hmm.
I left the tweet recently. Not many people knows about this, uh, and I like the handshake, right? It's the blockchain, and I think you maybe know a little bit more than me. I don't want to speak. So, what is the handshake? I want to ask you. How
Okay,
or
so
yeah, like first, like story, like no, what do you do, man? What do you do? I don't know who you are.
first of
So
all,
that
what I do, okay, thank you. So I run Shakestats, which is a platform which collects data, and rankings for handshake names. So I'll explain what handshake is after. And we provide tools and everything so people can really sift through and make really good decisions on domain name transactions and trading and things of that nature. So what Handshake is a new way for the domain name system to exist. So there's a current domain name system, DNS, right? Like what we're using right now. For example, it's like studio.restream.io, right? IO is the TLD, so the top level domain. And then the others, so Restream is the subdomain. And this one, funnily enough, has another subdomain under it. So these TLDs, no one owns them but ICANN. So ICANN is an organization in America, a governmental organization, which creates these TLDs, and then you can buy these TLDs off them. So they're the only people who can register them, and they're the people who control the whole system basically. So let's say you have a website that they do not agree with. For example, there was Sci-Hub, which gives all this scientific documentation for free for everyone to access. I don't know about everyone's opinion on that, whatever, but for example, they can shut that down. So in the future, it's looking a lot more draconian on the censorship.
Did it happen in the past that they would shut down pages?
Yes, they shut down so many. Like, yeah.
And also, I want to ask you. So I don't know. ICANN is U.S. government institution. It's not private company.
Yeah, it's a U.S. government institution. Yeah.
So
yeah.
domain.io is actually has nothing to do with US, right? IO is somewhere Pacific domain, or so all of these domains that are now you say all of domains that we basically use belong to the US government institution.
Essentially, yeah. Even if you buy off them and you technically own it, they still have control. So yeah, they have the control over the whole system. Yeah.
You can let's go with the Handshake. So the Handshake is domain system, but like how does it work? Like what you can do with the Handshake?
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't get to explain it yet. So so Handshake is this domain name system, but decentralized and run by blockchain. So what that means is you have these TLDs, which you can actually own now, right? So for example, if you wanted to put like, I don't know, .crypto or whatever, or .wallet, stuff like that, you can buy it, right? There's like this auction system which the blockchain runs. So everyone has access to owning their part of the internet. And then they can list their own subdomains and sell their own subdomains off their own TLDs. So originally, this would go through GoDaddy, for example. So when we were getting the Shakestats.com subdomain, we had to go through GoDaddy, right? We paid a $40 fee, and that's not to actually buy it. That's in order to rent it. So you still have to pay a renting fee every year also. You have to with Handshake, but it's like 0.2 cents per annum. So you still own it. Okay, and let me explain how the blockchain side of things sort of works.
Yeah, because after that I will have some questions, because there's some things that are not very clear to me as well.
Yeah, okay. So in regards to blockchain side of things, the names were released periodically. So the makers of Handshake already had all these TLDs sort of ready to go.
And it's like all TLDs. So whatever you want. So this top level domain is .com, .io, .org. But on the Handshake, you can have everything.
You can have everything?
No limits.
Yes, but one thing to make clear is that 100,000 of the names were reserved. So .com, .io, and things like that are reserved. You cannot take them. I'll get into the reason why later. It's actually pretty interesting. But yeah, I'll just finish talking about how the release of names work. So initially it was periodic. So they had a list of names that they compiled. I don't know exactly how many after the 100K Alexa top rank, but it was a certain number, maybe 300,000, something like that, which they released periodically. So let's say in March, which was a month after it released in 2020, you could only probably get like 100 TLDs that were available, and they would only get released per week.
This is wait, this question, like we will talk about this. I will be asking questions about how it can be actually used. So I was curious because I thought when the handshake started, everyone could beat anything, but you said no.
No,
It was
no.
it's so if I would type something like wallet, let's say I wanted to own top level wallet, if I would type it on in March, I couldn't open the auction.
No.
Okay, right.
So it would because I actually came into it. Funny story. I came into Handshake right when it started because my co-founder Gotham, he got the developers airdrop, so that's how we got into it. And yeah, I was looking to get names and things like that, and none of them were available. And the funny thing is, because only a few were available at a time, because they would get released week by week by week, it would have like a notification saying, okay, this is unreleased. It's releasing within a week or 2 weeks or whatever period it was. So like there was only like 10 to 20 or 30 names released in the first week. And that meant that the prices were really high because the supply was extremely low, right? Which is funny. So that was really smart by them as well, driving the prices up early. And yeah, so it was really difficult to get names at the start. And I sort of motivation because I didn't really know much about it anyway. I'm like, oh, what's this? I thought that like there was no point of getting a name like crypto or wallet or whatever because it's cool to get like 3 or 2 character or 1 character things.
Yeah.
It was so hard to get.
So
I regret that.
what they were limiting at first, very short ones, or
Yeah.
so they were like just releasing very short ones, like that C. I know they like there's the guy who owns that C.
It was
And
random though. It was random, but at the start, yeah, they had a lot of those, more of them. Yeah.
And I want to add that with the handshake, they also have the emoji domains. So something that wasn't in use. So for example, you have the praying hands, right? So if you would like to use this as the top level domain, there would be like your name. We will talk about the decentralized web as well, but let's present it with the current domain system. So there you could have your name, that, and the praying hands. For example, like church, that, and praying hands, right? Like as the emoji. And I noticed the emoji, like they were also not available because I was thinking, why they opened the beats in January 2021 and not earlier if domains are so hot? So were they not available as well?
Emojis. I'm actually not too sure on that. Where did you hear about the January 2021 thing?
No, I was like, there's some emojis that actually I saw the auctions opened in this year, and I was thinking, why not earlier? Like because
I can actually I haven't looked into exactly when they first released, but yeah, I'm not too sure on that. I could check because we have our database.
It's fine. I was curious because maybe they didn't add this emoji to the handshake. That was my idea, that probably they list the new emojis as the time progress. For example, the face with the mask, I think, was released quite late, and that's what I think that's the reason. But I'm not sure. I wanted to ask if the emojis also were restricted at first, so you couldn't get all of them at first.
Well, everything was released periodically, so there was only a few of each batch. So, but I'm actually not too sure on the emoji thing. It would be cool to look up. That's actually a good point.
How is it now? Is everything released completely?
Everything, yes, everything completely.
When they did it, that everything can be bought.
So, I can't remember the exact date. However, it was around the end of 2020. So it was, I think September or something like that. Yeah.
So okay, we got the part. The handshake is the naming system, and they try to disrupt the naming. Let's call it industry. And the current DNS that is controlled by this one organization, ICANN, right? But there is the other, like which makes me something. I don't understand how it works because there is unstoppable domains, right? And I was let me like I will open Namebase right now, and I will share it. So I search the name, and actually, there was the name crypto that was actually auctioned for 200,000 HNS.
Yeah.
But you have unstoppable domains, and the crypto already exist. Like, so
Yeah.
the first question is, how does unstoppable domains exist together with this current system, like that the domains are available along the domains that are controlled by ICANN, right? How does it exist?
Yeah. So unstoppable domains uses their own sort of blockchain thing, right?
Is it,
in order
you think,
to
similar to Handshake? Or not at all?
I actually haven't looked too much into it. Gotham would have a way better explanation because he's the tech guy in the team. But from what I understand, it's just it's like a different way for them to decentralize the domain name system, blah blah. I think it's more similar to ENS because people don't own the TLDs. They just have it's decentralized, but it's pretty centralized given that few people have control over the keys of like what's going on there. So like for example, they can choose how many TLDs will be released and things of that nature.
But they can potentially release as many as they want.
Potentially, yes. I don't know if their tech side of things inhibit their ability to do so. It may be more difficult for them to have so many TLDs running on the blockchain because Handshake is really well built. It was built by...
But so I want to stop. So because this is weird with unstoppable domains, like so many people promote that, and my understanding is like they claim, hey, this is decentralized domains, right? You can have the cool, like, you don't have to be trapped in these organizations. But my question is like, actually, you can't own the domains. Unstoppable domains is exactly what ICANN is. But this is private organization and one is government organization. Am I correct?
Basically, yeah. If you think about it, it's very similar.
You don't own your name.
Basically,
unstoppable domain. Could they ban you one day? Remove you?
Give me a second. Yeah, they could. Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Right?
Given if it's similar to ENS, then yes. Because then they can probably like censor like who's getting subdomains off that and things like that. And I'm not exactly sure though, but given that it is centralized in the sense that the main developers of the product still have control over what happens on the blockchain, then yes. But in Handshake, it's different because the developers sort of left it alone after everything. So they don't really contribute anymore. There's some people contributing to the network, like whatever bugs we have or things of that nature. But nothing else.
I want to talk about it, but there is one more thing. So let's say someone bought my question is, if you buy the domain, let's say if you bought the crypto, right, the top level domain on Handshake. I'm showing Namebase. Namebase is the company, is centralized company, which makes it easy to buy. But anyway, you bought the crypto using Handshake. But there's already crypto exist. Like, can the Handshake domain name exist in the internet of the current form? So like, can it exist that I will open the Chrome and I will let's say I'm owning or I'm renting the subdomain under the top level domain crypto, and so can it exist?
Okay, yeah.
If it's already taken, what's going on here?
So okay, I'll explain. So what's going on there is okay. So first of all, this is a loaded question. First of all, in order for Handshake to be used, right, as like the primary the primary system for naming, right? A browser or a Cloudflare-like service would have to integrate it within their service, right? So they would have to get developers from our end in order to help out with that. And if they both do Handshake and if let's say they choose to resolve Handshake and Unstoppable Domains and ENS, if there's conflicting names like that, right, then they're literally just conflicting. So that's really bad. And it's a problem that we need to fix. It's one big problem. So they would probably have to prioritize like the system in place that's integrating us. They would have to prioritize which resolver they like the most. So let's say they want to prioritize Handshake, they could do that and things like that. So yeah.
So I understand you said that the browser would have to integrate. So for example, for Handshake to be used in the current system as it is, so let's say Google Chrome would have to integrate with Handshake, so the domains could be used on the Google Chrome. And right now it can't be done, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh well, it can be done if they want to, and if they.
But it's not.
There's
So
no financial incentive right
so
now.
if you owe some top level domain right now, you cannot use it in the Chrome browser, right?
No, they didn't integrate Handshake yet, but we have like several systems to make it easy for them to resolve. So we have HDNS, which was created by Namebase, which allows you to change your DNS settings in your laptop in order to be able to resolve Handshake names. So they made it really easy to do. Puma browser has already done it. You can check that out. You can see how you can resolve Handshake names, which is really cool because let's say you want to search up the handshake emoji, you can just put the handshake emoji, put a slash next to it, and it resolves as a name. So you don't need a .com, you don't need a .net, all that stuff. Names are very easy to read, very memorable, everything. Very easy to put in. So that's a really cool thing. Yeah,
but, sorry, so like there is the guy that rent that C, right? He owns that C on Handshake. And when he rents it, he people can use it in Chrome because of this.
No.
So the .c, like the people cannot use. There is no address in Chrome or anything else.
They can't use it, but if they can use it, I'll give you 3 ways. So they can use it by changing their DNS settings through HDNS. They can use it by putting
so actually they can use it if they go through all of this process.
Yeah.
So if I will rent the subdomain under .c because someone on Namebase, I want to show because there is someone on Handshake own C, right?
Yeah.
This guy, and I know he rented. So I could have my name, which is Marcin.c, and then I can do this process that you mentioned, and I can use it on Chrome. That when people type Marcin.c, they will find the page when I do the steps that you say, right?
When they do the steps, yes. So I'll finish what steps you can do. So the HDNS I already explained. HNS.2. So you can try it out now. Let me think of a name that we'll go on Shakestats if you'd like. You can.
It's fine. Like I don't want to get too deep because I'm asking this question as the completely non-tech guy. You can see my terms. Because I think the people, like when regular people watch it, they will think the same in simple terms because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm typing the domain and I go in Google. So I'm asking if it can work this way, right? And what is needed to get the adaptation further. So
HNS.2 is another way, which I was just explaining then. So for example,
I found Johnny this way. Johnny from Namebase. I know he uses it.
So you can put a name, any name you want, like let's say Shakestats, and you go .hns.2, and then it works. Because Namebase created some system similar to HDNS to make it really easy for that thing to happen. So I guess this leads to the question, I don't know, are you curious on, because of this, does this make you more bearish? Like how are people going to integrate Handshake if they have to take 2 steps, right? Is that going through your mind?
No, the thing is, so I made a video on it. I understand the great idea of blockchain, of decentralizing everything, but I actually think that most of the humans like when the things are centralized. They actually, because it's easier to use them, and most of the people will be using the centralized things, and most of the people will be using centralized things, or because they don't want to feel like they're using it because it's too difficult. So for example, so sorry for changing the subject a little bit. I believe the DeFi will be widely used, but I don't feel that DeFi necessarily will be used in the way it's used now. Like, you go to all of these platforms and the websites look absolute shit. Let's not pretend. They are like not transparent. You have numbers everywhere. It's not convenient. So I believe maybe DeFi will try to go to CeFi actually, and maybe in PayPal, maybe PayPal one day will integrate, and you have button. You hold ETH, earn interest on your ETH. You hold Bitcoin, and you press one button, and this will be PayPal using the blockchain for you, because let's say you are too stupid to do it, or you're too lazy to do it. So the same with this Handshake. I think if there are any solutions that Handshake can be used in the way that you don't have to think. I know it actually opposes the idea of decentralization a little bit, because the Handshake is made like, it's real unstoppable, like, because no one can stop you because it's decentralized. But it cannot be difficult to do all of it for the people, because it actually could have its market. I believe it can have its market in the form it is for everyone who do. I don't like to use the word illegal, because I'm not like, I think for things that are in the gray zones, it's amazing. People would love to use it to stay anonymous. So it's still big market. But my question is there market for like stupid person like me to use it? Can I bought the domains, I bought amazing names. Like I owe like Mulet, which is like, like it's stupid name. I love it so much because it's so stupid. So my question is, maybe I want to use Marcin Mikus that Mulet one day. Beautiful name, right? Like it's or something else. Or I will not use it because I'm just too stupid to do it, or too lazy to go too deep into it. This is I'm not bearish. I will start for this because I'm having fun on HNS, and the community, the Twitter is very fun.
Yeah. Yes. So
it's a lot. It's a lot. This is I know,
no,
and
I
think this is why I'm good for this job, because I'm too stupid to understand the certain things, So this is like, that's why. I'm not technical because I don't know how to code at all. Nothing. I'm stupid in this area, right? So.
Yeah, well, I'm not a programmer, but because I've been like doing Shakestats and been talking with all these programmers, I have some form of understanding, but not. So I can explain it to you in the terms of like digesting what they said, but I can't go through the whole technicality.
Okay.
So I'll
That's even better. Like I don't get any technicalities, so.
Yeah. So I guess your main question was how will people like you be able to utilize Handshake, and how could it get to the masses? I guess the main question. So there's a lot of answers here. All right. So first of all, there's 3 pathways. Well, no, two main pathways. So one is that big institutions see the ethos of Handshake or get into Handshake, and for their own monetary gain, they want to adopt it and things like that. So they can adopt it through the ethos, the fact that it's uncensorable, completely decentralized like Bitcoin, like so good. And then all these other things like access to international audiences. Is very easy to create names in other languages, which is harder on the regular system. So there's a lot of good ethos to it. At the same
I
time,
want to sorry to stop you. I want to add, because this is very good thing, and I don't want to forget about this. Um, I sometimes feel when I go to Twitter, like, Handshake is serious. We fight with the centralization, but I think what's missing in the rhetoric, Handshake is fun. It's fun to own stupid name on the internet. I think people would love it. It's
yeah.
it's sometimes maybe better rhetoric than just, the, so like it's a lot of fun to would have diversified name us on the internet. Okay, you can continue. Sorry for that.
Okay, I'll continue. So I was talking about the ethos, right? And then secondly, within that first route, secondly, an incentive for these big corporations would then be to be actually invested into Handshake with the names or with the token, right? So it would be really, it's everything in Handshake so well incentivized. Another thing is also the airdrops. So we have a lot of airdrops for people to claim. If you have a top 100 Alexa name, then you can claim Handshake for it. For example, I think Tor, I think their claim is worth like, I may be wrong, but I think it's like $2 million worth of Handshake, something like that, or maybe even more.
What?
Yeah, maybe
You
even
mean
more. Yeah,
the Tor, the browser?
yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
reserved. So they will receive 2 million Handshake if they claim their name.
dollars, $2 million worth of Handshake. It may
Yeah,
be
yeah,
more.
yeah.
I think it could have even been 20 million, but it's something crazy.
Ah,
Yeah,
nah,
it's something
too
crazy.
crazy, too
Yeah.
crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
amazing, amazing.
that's the whole hope of Handshake. That big corporations, they're most likely not going to go with the ethos type of thing, you know. So they're going to be really, really drawn towards these rewards.
And so
And
Amazon the same. They will have big airdrop for
yeah,
them if they
yeah,
do it.
I'm pretty sure we can check now. I forgot the website. I'll try to search it.
Yeah, I'm also not prepared. Actually, these questions, everything I ask you is like something I have, like that I think of Handshake and I can't find the information. So,
Yeah, I can share it with you
but
later. I'll
so
send you
for
the link.
Amazon, like, I want to people to understand, it will be the name Amazon. It will not be .com or anything like this. It's the Amazon. So they can use the Amazon as the top level domain for them and rent sub level domain to people. So the people could be like, let's say you have the plant shop, right? So you could have and you have plant shop on the Amazon. So you could have maybe something plant shop that Amazon, and Amazon, the main page would be just Amazon without sub level domain. You type Amazon and you go to Amazon. Am I correct? Because we didn't touch upon this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you explained very well. They'll own the TLD, so they can choose whether they give subdomains to other people or they can reserve it for themselves, the subdomains. Because anyways, that's another thing. So a second way for Handshake, the first way I'll just summarize is if big organizations are incentivized through these means that Handshake has put in place. The second way is for the crypto community as a whole to get so big and so powerful to the extent where Handshake's just inevitable. So how this works is, for example, are you familiar with the decentralized web in general? Have you heard of the other protocols?
Yes, I know it's big belief in place. I follow Handshake, Akash, Skynet,
Yeah, yeah,
and others. So there's like I understand this as the alternative web. We use the web that is now,
yes.
but there is belief that we might use actually the centralized web. That is, it's like different layers. So you open the browsers now, is the centralized, is the web that is centralized, but there is something in place to create alternative web that is decentralized. So you go there and it will be uncontrollable. Is not sure if I understand it right. Is it?
Yeah. So you basically got it right. It's just a new way to do internet through a decentralized means. So you've got servers, you've got servers to run your website on. You have storage systems, and then you have naming, right? So this narrative of decentralized web, in my opinion, is inevitable if crypto becomes a really reckoning force within the world. So if it becomes like Wall Street is today, right? Like let's say Aave becomes just as big as JP and Morgan. In this sense, if that happens, right, then the decentralized web narrative is going to explode. Given that it's a new opportunity for people to hop on products early and have like a next Bitcoin or whatever. So in that sense, Handshake can be really powerful because Handshake, it works really, really nicely with Skynet, with Akash, and all these other protocols. For example, Stephen McKee, a really big community leader, he's working on this thing called HandyHost, which will allow these protocols to work together very seamlessly. So let's say you want to host a website in a completely decentralized manner. You'll be able to integrate Akash, you'll be able to integrate Skynet, and then use the Handshake name with that very simply. So these all grow together, right? And
can I ask the question? Stop. Like,
yeah.
so, do you think that this decentralized web will be as easy in use as the current centralized web? It will be like so natural for people.
Yeah. So the reason and the reason I think why links back to your earlier point on centralized front ends for decentralized back ends. So realistically, a lot of people do not understand blockchain. A lot of people do not understand how to use the protocols or how any of it works. So what's more simplistic and realistic is for centralized front ends. For example, there's this thing called Argo, which is currently being developed, which allows you to create a website using, I think it's Arweave, which is a storage system, and they're going to integrate Handshake also, I'm pretty sure. So through that website, it's just really simple. It's just like GoDaddy or whatever other website that allows you to just set up everything you need online. So it'll be the exact same process, but they're using decentralized backends. And in that sense, it's a lot cheaper too, because decentralized backends like Akash are probably like 3 times cheaper than using.
I saw it. Akash is very competitive with the price, and at the moment I saw a lot of blockchain projects is actually moving their nodes to the Akash, which is very encouraging, because I think this is the only one project at this moment that actually might bring some income, very small, but it might bring some income. So I'm like really excited to see. Excited to see what they do. So you think that the centralized web will be looking just like this one now that we use, but it will be decentralized?
Exactly.
Okay. The problem I have, because I read this from the Handshake page. They said that decentralization was required because we had a lot of spam. So how we avoid the massive spam in the decentralized, how we avoid all of these crazy names and massive mess, because the fact that everything is .com, nearly everything, it makes it so simple. So how we avoid this, how we avoid tons of different emails that would discourage people because we don't like the spam, right?
Yeah.
Is it avoidable?
So spam in what context? I saw you mentioned email. So are you talking about like the name ecosystem being flooded, or getting spam messages towards you?
I wonder if that would be convenient if we will have like thousands different names. It will be inconvenient to browse them. Then when it's regarding to the naming system, I don't know if it makes sense.
In what sense? So is it like, for example, let's say you put a name, and I don't know how it would be difficult because you're still, if you know what name you want to send to, then it'll send to that name, unless you make a typo or something.
Yeah, because all the names are so similar. But yeah, you're
Mm.
actually right. The subdomains are not similar. But so let's pass on this. I'm not. You mentioned something, and I saw some people, because we actually use the terms like, oh, you can own your top level domain, so you can own something like .com, but your own. But there is some talk that in this decentralized web, it's not needed. That in this decentralized web, we will be using only the top level domain. So I can type my name, Marcin, and it goes to my page, right?
Mm.
Is
Mm.
it correct?
So, so I think subdomains will be used quite a lot also. So there's multiple reasons. So first of all, on the Handshake ecosystem, there's a maximum of 60 million names that can be registered, around that amount, 55 to 60 million, something like that. And that means, so currently we're at 1.5 million. So that's been in a year. So we'll probably get to the 60 million mark. Well, I'm not too sure, but like at this current rate, it would take a while. But given that Handshake becomes huge, it'll probably happen within a year and a half or 2 years. At that point, people can't buy TLDs anymore, right? So where's the market going to go to? Subdomains. Also, TLDs are going to be increasingly more expensive. So the price floor of TLDs have been going higher and higher and higher and higher. So because of this, people to get a really readable name, it will be extremely difficult, as the cheap ones, the cheap TLDs are going to be really crap, right? So in order to get a really readable and memorable name, they would have to go through a subdomain. So they would get a really good TLD and just do a subdomain like normal. There's actually quite a few use cases for subdomains other than that as well. So, for example, they can be used for a certain company to give out subscriptions or memberships. So let me explain. So, let's say you're a company. I don't know. Let's say you're a company with like a trading group on Telegram, or no, on some future social media site that's going to use Handshake or something like that, right? In order to verify whether you're a member, they can make sure that you can only log in if you have a certain subdomain on that TLD. And you would have to use there's already verification systems in place with TLDs, and probably there will be with subdomains also. So it's sort of like a pass to log into things, and like a pass to show that you're a part of something. So I think, let's say, I don't know, we're that trading group, and it's their TLD is .trade.
I tell you what. I tell you what they will be using. They will be using that .ath. You know who owns it?
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
all time high.
Yes.
It
All
will
time
be
high.
very widely used. Very
only.
widely used.
Yes. So their customers, they're like, okay, in order for you to join this group, all you have to do is buy a subdomain, show us you have the subdomain, right? There's probably going to be verification systems which are a lot easier, similar to the TLD one we have currently. But for now, just, I don't know, they'll have something on their website to verify it. So you verify that, and then you're in, right? It's a lot more of a, I don't know, easy way to show that you're actually part of that group, and then there's no hacking, spamming, things of that nature. So that's really cool. Another thing is to show that you're a part of a community. So maybe, have you seen the Bored Apes on the NFT?
I just want to say, let me actually share the link on the Twitter. It answered my earlier question, because I was asking about this mess and spam, and you said you actually believe that we will be using subdomains, and because I was thinking, without the subdomains there would be so much mess. Actually, you would need so many names
Yeah.
that it would be crazy, because let's say I have the certain name, you have the certain name, that is your name. Probably there is many Robs. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So there would
Mm,
be
mm,
only
mm,
one lucky Rob with the
mm.
top level domain Rob.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
pretty useless. You know,
Yeah,
it's not so.
yeah,
So I actually, so the answer that you gave me about the war, like usefulness of the subdomain and top level domains is really great.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's a really cool use case, and also, yeah, it's just a verification to show you're a part of something. Like, it's really cool. Like, I was gonna go into the
So
board
it would
ape.
be like the we like to talk about NFTs, that NFTs are great because NFTs will be like, you can use NFTs for membership and they show you are part of something.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
actually
yeah.
what you're saying, that the showing that you are part of something will be actually a domain, which will
Well, it
function
can be.
also like the NFT, that you are part of the group, of the community, right?
Yeah, yeah. Both can be used. I think on the Ethereum network, there's more. On the Ethereum network, it's way easier to do personal identity stuff and things of that nature, in my opinion. But Handshake is really simple to use. Like, think about if you own a TLD, to give out subdomains, it's so easy. Like, just to sell them or whatever, right? And it will become increasingly easier when we have more centralized front ends. Currently, we just have Namebase, really, where you can stake your names. But yeah, we'll have other services where you can do that, and it's just gonna be so simple.
Yeah, I was hoping like this, that actually we will have the centralized platforms that will help us to do everything in a very easy manner. And I was thinking of Handshake, that sorry, on of Namebase, that it would be cool if Namebase could become also something like GoDaddy. Like
Yeah,
they could have this option in the future, that you go to the Namebase, you buy the domain, you rent the domain, the owner of the domain get the money, it's everything done through the Namebase. You can maybe also register your domain through the Namebase. It would be amazing if Namebase could grow actually in this direction, right?
yeah, that was their business plan from the start. So they call themselves a registrar, which means that through them you can register names. You can do that on Handshake just with Bob Wallet, which is like a decentralized wallet that you can use. Or if you're really savvy with your tech, you can probably make your own and just do it. Like, everything on blockchain is just permissionless. So they don't Namebase doesn't control everything, they just make it easier. So yeah, you can register names like I don't know, you want dot champion or whatever, right? You just type in dot champion, you get it, da da da, all that. And that's exactly what GoDaddy does, but the fact that they have to pay money to ICANN every year, and they have to get permission from all these other TLD owners and things like that. So yeah, it's a lot more complicated for them. And Namebase is trying to do exactly what they're doing, but in a much simpler manner and much
Yeah.
more intuitive manner.
I want to show off my love to actually Namebase, because I really like this page, because it's it's simple. It's so simple, right? You
Yeah,
can do so many things. It's nice design. I like it. It's like the it's a little bit like the, Facebook tried to be simple in the past, and Namebase is simple. I like it. So
yeah,
I'm enjoy. It's centralized. I don't care.
yeah,
I like it. I like it the way. So I think Johnny with his CEO, they do good job, and I think they are profitable. So this is
yeah,
amazing.
very,
This is
yeah.
actually
They're
amazing that
doing
the
well.
company that is so new is actually profitable. So
Yeah,
like, it's
yeah,
good for them. I hope there will be a lot of trading going on, and they will
yeah,
be earning good money from the fees. You told me about the better price, that Akash offer better prices, but I was checking the Skynet, right? If I would try to use Skynet as the, do you have how much time do you have actually?
uh well, let me check the time. Yeah, I got time. I can go
Okay,
for
that's
like
fine.
40 minutes more.
You
Yeah.
don't sleep early, is it?
Nah, not too early.
Yeah, you know, when you're 30 years old like me, everything changes. You go to bed at 10 p.m. I actually go to bed at 10 p.m. Different life.
I probably should. I probably should.
So
Yeah.
I was checking the pricing of the Skynet, and they say like for around $2, I can have 1 terabyte,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Which would translate, if I will use 30 terabyte, I would pay around $60, right?
Mm-hmm.
But using Dropbox, I would still pay $20. But
$20 for the same terabytes.
yeah, because it's unlimited. It's at some point.
Unlimited.
So whether you use like 1 or
Mm.
30 in
Mm.
Dropbox, you will pay the same price in unlimited, because there's like, if you share the business. So I was thinking, actually, for small people who use a little bit, which is majority of the people, and I think it's amazing. But for someone who has like really mass of crap stored,
Yeah.
it seems it would be expensive. But
Yeah.
people who
Well,
have a lot of crap, they are usually rich, you know. So
well, it's not for personal use. You have to think about it from a business standpoint. Think about how large their data is, like Facebook, for example, or
yeah,
Google or
yeah,
Twitter. It's just millions and millions of dollars spent on data storage, and I think it's a really good incentive for them to use these systems. I'm not too well versed on how the rest of the decentralized web works actually, so I don't know why they haven't used them yet. I guess there's some like technical hurdles, and it's very early in development, so I guess it's risky for them to use, in their opinion. So once they create a more robust system and gain some more trust, the financial incentives are there, and these large companies will eventually use them.
yeah. I hope it will grow, because I was checking yesterday. So the Skynet uses like 1,000. It's used 1,250 terabytes of space is used right now, which is
Wow.
basically 400 people like me. It's nothing. It's actually like
Mm.
400 people like me. I use over 4 in my Dropbox, so it's like
Yeah, yeah.
only 400 people like me uses Skynet at this moment, which is I'm actually I'm bullish, you know,
Mm.
but it's nothing.
Yeah,
This is it
yeah.
needs to get adoption. It needs to this, where there's Akash, Skynet, Handshake, and I cheer up for this. You know, I want to ask, because I think we touched upon like how Handshake works, and that is decentralized permission. By the way, I didn't ask, because we're talking about this. So when there is conflict, when you have two providers of the top level domain, which is crypto via unstoppable domains and crypto via Handshake, what to do then when there is the conflict?
For us or for the company, like the
Yeah,
browser or
what if there is the conflict of the same names?
yeah. Yeah, so what happens there is they have to prioritize um which decentralized system like they want to go through first, right? So yeah, it's up to the browser or the resolver.
Yeah, so I believe that the Handshake would be successful if the world decide like we want fully decentralized naming system, because it's more fair. The unstoppable domains
Yeah.
has no place there, right?
Yeah,
um
but the thing is, Unstoppable Domains has the marketing budget because they're centralized, right? So
yeah,
Handshake, the beauty of Handshake, but also the bad part about Handshake is that the initial developers all like left, right? There's no foundation or whatever, right? There's a few people still working on bugs and everything, but in their eyes, they want to keep it completely decentralized like Bitcoin. Like Satoshi Nakamoto just left, right? You know what I mean? So that leaves a very good base layer of ethos. But at the same time, since there's no foundation, no one can really do this work in order for Handshake to progress in regards to usage. It's all a community run effort and a corporation run effort, like external ones like Namebase, right? They're doing a lot of the heavy lifting that the foundation would have done.
so as you talk about the developers, I want to ask about the beginning, because people like to know who owns this, what's the
Yeah,
investment. And
yeah, yeah.
Handshake actually raised money I don't know how the decentralized organization can actually raise money, but they raised $11 million, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
And they
Yeah, keep going. Yeah, what was the question?
and I heard they gave it away. So some
Mm-hmm.
organization, which is Handshake, they raised from investors $11 million. By the way, two people are watching the boring,
Oh,
but
whoa,
they will watch. It's fine. They will watch.
yeah.
I'm fascinated. I'll be doing more Handshake stuff.
Mm.
So they raised 11 millions and they gave it to developers. How many of these developers? What did they do? They just gave them, hey, you get 100K. Hey, you get 500K. That's it. How did it
Well,
work?
yeah.
Because I
So
don't
the
know.
initial yeah. Okay. So there's multiple airdrops, right?
Yeah.
There's multiple types. There's a developer's airdrop, which is what my co-founder got, which was around at the time. It was around 2 to 3 thousand, no, 1.5 thousand USD, which is pretty crazy. And then it
Like
went up,
it
obviously.
was like 50. How much in Handshake was it? I didn't Handshake
Five
started at 10 cents
five
or
thousand handshake. I think, yeah, I think it was 5,000 handshakes. So the price spiked up to like 60 cents at that time because that's what happens when
yeah.
airdrops
In,
happen,
in
the price
February,
spikes.
I saw the spike. So
Yeah.
this
And
was
then people start dumping.
so he just got it.
Yeah, he got it.
And did
Um,
every developer
no, so
from
okay, yeah, yeah. So I'll explain. So in the developers airdrop, you had to have like 15 or more followers on GitHub, and you had to have some form of contribution to Handshake. So maybe you had to have a comment, like a comment on a sort of audit on like a part of the code or thing, something like that. You have to contribute in some way to be eligible. And yeah, you had to have that 15 followers on GitHub by February 2020, and
so yeah.
you can still get it.
So all the people who met the criteria,
Mm.
the $11 million was given to them in
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
form.
Oh no, no, not
No,
not
wait.
all
They received the
11 million.
handshake. They didn't receive the money. They received the tokens.
Handshake,
They
handshake. Yeah.
they received the tokens.
Yes, yes, yes.
Who received the $11 million?
So, so it got distributed. So 11 million got distributed within the people. So first it was developers. Then we have the top 100 Alexa people. So if you have a top 100K site on the internet, then you could claim a certain amount of handshake, which is different to depending on what name you have. And that was it, I think.
But
There
the
was another,
airdrop, the airdrop was in form of the token, which is handshake.
yes.
But how the cash was spent?
How the cash was spent. Oh, let me think for
I
a
might
second.
be thinking something wrong because it was said. I'm reading. That's why I'm asking. It was said that 11 million was given to developers. I just like I
Yeah,
wanted to I understand how it was given. Like how did it
yeah.
work? I know the handshake
I'm
was
trying
the
to think.
airdrop.
So if the founders of Handshake were given 11 million by investors, yeah, I don't know. I don't really understand that. Yeah, but
Yeah, like
I
this is
know,
difficult to
I know it's
understand.
distributed. Yeah, I don't know because they're not a centralized entity, right? So it's
Yeah,
not helping a
yeah,
foundation or anything.
and
And it's the coins. I think. Oh yeah, I think this will happen. So investors invested in Handshake at the start, like $11 million, right? So it had a certain price,
yeah,
and and then after, essentially all the coins were dumped through like giving the airdrop away, and people would dump the coins. And
yeah,
instead of them holding their own, yeah, okay, yeah. So the developers, they don't own their own coins. They like sold them. I think they probably still have a few left,
yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah.
So you said the developers left. What? Why?
They just
They
wanted the cash and they're out, man. A lot of people, for a lot of people, that's big money.
So they were like, yeah, it's nice project. I believe it will change the internet, but I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, a lot of people, I don't even think you need it. So I think there was two tiers of developer airdrops. One, if you actually contributed something to Handshake, and another if you just purely had 15 GitHub followers. So I think the people with the GitHub followers stuff, they just heard from a tweet, oh yeah, you can just claim, right? And that's what they did. And then they just left. Because they didn't really look into the project. They just knew that they could get that money and they just left.
So do you have any idea like how many people at this moment contribute or work on the Handshake project?
I haven't checked, but I know we have
Can you
one
check
main
it? Because I didn't know. Is there like group of people working on it?
We can go on GitHub right now. Can I share a screen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go Handshake. So we have here contributors. So we have
and total, these are like 13 actively working.
No, these are just total contributors.
Okay.
So I don't know, not even many here, but I think maybe one of the profiles were just together with other people or something.
Yeah, because there is contributor Handshake Web. I imagine it's a group of people.
Yeah. Currently we only have a few main contributors. Our main contributor is Matthew Zipkin. Shout out him. He's doing a really good job. Yeah, we see here there was a pull request recently. There's two issues which haven't been fixed lately. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
I wanted to ask you one question because there is airdrop of the tokens, and I want to talk about the token. Although I'm not like super interested on the price because I'm not the channel to do it, right? At this moment is the over 400 million tokens in circulation, and the total supply of the Handshake tokens is just over 2 billions. But it doesn't have to be, right? Because for it to be 2 billion total tokens, everyone would have to claim the airdrop. Yeah.
Wait. How many? No. Hold on. Let me go on the site. Let me give it a look. So we have. I'll look at the circulation and stuff again, and I'll explain this burnt element to you after as well. So yeah. So currently we have a total supply. So this is our total supply currently. So this is the amount of coins available, right?
Yeah, 400 million, just over this.
So 400 million is what people have bought, right?
Yes, that exists in the circulation, I believe.
Yes. So the rest, it's from airdrop claims not being taken, but also, give me a second.
Because it says the total supply is over 2 billion, 2 billion 40 million. So in order to beat everyone who got the airdrop, because not everyone claimed the airdrop, I believe they still can claim it, right?
Yeah, not everyone claimed it. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Man, I'm sounding
sorry
like a noob right now.
No, it's fine. I understand, because not everyone can know everything. So I'm asking and I'm trying to get as much for myself, because out of my own curiosity, and going to show how much I like Handshake. I want to know everything about it. What's going on with it.
2 billion. Yeah, that doesn't add up with the airdrop. So
is it?
I should know the answer to this. It's a really simple crypto question.
Someone will comment on this video. I'm pretty sure someone will comment on this video, and I will make sure I will spam on the Twitter with this video. And I try to talk to a few other people, but every time I mention to people, but my channel is this and this, have a look. I said to the namesake Mark, and he said, I will check it, and he didn't get back to me. So I think he was like, who the fuck is this guy? I'm not doing this, But
I don't know what's 2 billion. I'm trying to think. So if it's 400 million in circulation, that
Right.
means that includes whatever's on exchanges and things like that, because just people trading between themselves.
Yes.
And then the full airdrop thing doesn't stack up to 2 billion.
How much is the full airdrop?
Oh, maybe it is 2 billion. Maybe
Yeah,
it
because
is.
you know
I
there's
think it is.
also how many is to be mined? 600 million to be mined? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so.
You see,
I think so.
brainy guy, I read the things about Handshake, but I think it's around 600 million or 800 million to be mined. But most of that, I think around like 60 or 70% of supply is actually airdrop, to be airdrop.
Yeah, probably then. Oh, I think I thought it was a bit silly because I was thinking USD terms, but 2 billion Handshake
Yeah,
isn't
I think
awful
I
lot.
think maybe you are also not thinking about the mining, that there is
Yeah,
also
mining, yeah.
the tokens to be mined. My
Yeah,
question
yeah,
is,
yeah.
there is so much talk about proof of work now, and there's so much talk about how proof of work is bad, right? Because bad for the environment, and there is the people who come and say, hey, look, proof of work is better for security. Some other people come and say, look, proof of stake is just fine. So why Handshake uses proof of work, and is it possible for the platform like Handshake use proof of stake or not really?
Okay. So I don't think Handshake can move to proof of stake, given that no one is
Yeah,
really contributing to the, like, it's not like Ethereum where there's a foundation, people continuously working. So
don't say that
just,
no one is contributing, because it sounds like a Dogecoin.
no. No, as in
Yeah,
the
people
sense
left
that
the project. Is dead.
Handshake was created, right? And it's
Yeah,
done. It's like good the way it is,
it's
right?
working
It's just
project
people.
like the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin works. It's working
Yes,
project.
yes,
It's finished. Yeah.
yes, yeah. So there's never going to be a move to proof of stake. None of the developers said that. The reason people say proof of stake is good is because mining bad for environment. That's basically what's this guy saying? I'm not contributing to
I don't know.
Handshake.
I don't know what this means.
Yeah, no. So so the people say mining bad for
Yeah.
environment. Let's make a mining council like with Elon Musk or whatever. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's why people want to move to proof of stake. And there's a multitude of reasons. But the thing is proof of work is really good in the sense that it's probably the most decentralized thing. So let's say if you have more coins, if you just have more money to buy more coins, right, you can have more control. Theoretically, you can have more control of the network, but you don't have control of the network unless you have over 51% of the 51% or more of the coins. So I don't really see any point of having proof of stake for Handshake. It doesn't really make any sense. The Bitcoin mining bad or mining bad argument doesn't really make sense to me either, given that you're incentivized to use cleaner energy when you're mining, given that cleaner energy makes it cheaper in order for you to mine and get a better output. So there's been a lot of
Yeah.
proof behind it.
It's I'm not the one that says it, because I'm actually the person, and I could get a lot of hate. I absolutely don't give a shit. Like if someone uses the coal energy, I don't give a shit. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure in India they use coal energy because they don't have other choice. So better to use the coal energy than do not have a light at home, you know? But also I just don't care. If we die, we die. It's fine. If it will be over. We're probably not the first. We're probably not the maybe we are first, but maybe we are not the first species that eradicated themselves. If we eradicate ourselves, it was like, yep, we made the mistakes. That's how it is. And I didn't
Yeah.
contribute to save this planet. I was the bad guy. So
Yeah.
like I'm not hating, but I listen both sides, right? So
Yeah. I'm not too well versed on the climate science debate, but from what I know, within the climate science debate, proof of work mining isn't even bad. Like if you think about the energy consumption of any other system, like the traditional banking system, is way more than what crypto like uses, right? It
Yeah,
just makes no sense. It's just a bunch of FUD, in my opinion.
I believe this is quite good argument because like if someone say, look, the proof of work is bad because it uses the dirty energy, but then you can make a company, let's say it could be Tesla, and say, but we have solution to this. We provide you
Yeah,
with the clean energy, right? And
yeah,
extra business.
yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah.
So
Literally, literally.
so I think there is maybe something like this involved. Hey, I help you to solve the problem that doesn't really exist. So
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
that's the that's the rhetoric. Is there something about Handshake that you missed and you really wanted to say?
What I wanted to say, um,
How many how many tokens you own?
I'm not gonna say that.
Come on.
But I did make quite a lot of sales, which was good.
Oh,
I,
like
I
what?
had
Okay.
emojis there.
Do you have single emojis?
I had one single emoji which I sold.
I have more.
Do you have
I'm
more?
I'm the secret handshake lord.
Let me show you. Hold
Man,
on. Let me
you
flex
have.
my ranking. So everybody shout out Shakestats. We have all the rankings for
Yeah, I
names.
want to give the time for the Shakestats. Wait,
Yeah,
wait.
so here's the emoji I sold.
For
Um
50K! Damn!
yeah,
Damn!
yeah.
Show that back. Show that back. I
Yeah,
want to
okay,
see
I'll
that.
go again. I'll go again.
50K.
Yeah, what a flex.
I'm yeah, share the screen.
Disappointed face emoji.
I'm really regretting because in April, because I didn't plan on selling tokens, I could get like few more single emojis for like 10K HNS. And I
Yeah,
didn't do it. I got like one, but
yeah, it's
I would
crazy.
have like 5 prime single emojis. Scroll down. I show you my purchase.
Which one did you get?
I'm that far down. Go to 11K.
11K. Okay, okay, okay. By the way, it's gonna be a lot easier to navigate in our new update
And I
because we're
tell you,
working on the update
this,
right
guess which one?
now. The monkey.
It will be the most valuable emoji that ever existed. I think it's one of the greatest emoji. Many people in Asia use it, and I'm
So
not
I guessed
selling.
it. Did
Yeah,
I guess it?
yeah.
Oh my
I'm
god.
not selling. I'm not, and I bought it when when HNS was at over 70 cents. So
Wow.
I sacrificed myself. I could easily
Smart.
resell it for more. But
Yeah.
it's the best to buy when the value is like of token is high. People are more willing to
Mm.
say now the prices are so high. And I was lucky. I got one more. Do you think, by the way, do you think it's okay to share which one, or I should censor this part?
Uh, which name?
My monkey, or it's fine.
Uh,
Do you think I'm in danger? Someone's gonna hunt on me now?
nah. Well, if you put your money in Bob Wallet, no one can do anything.
Okay, so I should move it.
Yeah, you should.
You think they're gonna do something if I don't do it?
Uh, I don't know. If they know your email, something could happen if you don't have two-factor authentication. So yeah, move it to Bob Wallet.
I shouldn't show
Yeah.
that. I have one more single. No, I have two more, but the top, like I have the one more that I got for 1,500. I think someone made mistake. I think
Really?
I offered 1,500 is in it exists in top 100 emojis in
Mm.
popularity. And I usually offer this amount to see if someone is willing to respond and try to make the deal with me, and bargain.
Yeah, yeah.
So I offered and someone accepted. I was like, well,
What emoji?
uh, it's the dancing woman.
Dancing woman. Wait, let me check.
Yeah.
So you got it for 1,500.
Yeah. Someone offered me 3,000 HNS for this. I mean, go away. I'm not in rush.
Yeah, definitely wait. I
Yeah,
can't
it's
believe this double emoji and triple emoji trend.
go for
I
like
should,
10K, right? It's crazy, man.
yeah,
I I
unbelievable.
I have
Look at all
another.
these. Look,
Yeah.
this sold. This
You can
hammer
you
thing
can
sold for 2099. No,
you
no,
can
no.
keep the screen on. Sharing the
Oh,
screen so everyone can see it.
oh, sorry. I thought I was sharing. Sorry.
It's fine.
This hammer thing, this four hammer thing
Yeah.
sold for 2,999,
Crazy.
and you bought a single emoji for 1,500.
Yeah,
You're
that's what I'm saying.
getting
And you see, all of these like colors or squares. I have another Twitter friend that
yeah,
actually bought a lot of them, and all of them were bought like 2 months ago because no one was interested in double emojis. No one.
yeah,
It was considered to not have value.
yeah. I know.
So someone sold the like no evil sea monkey for two of them for 4,500. So I wonder how my single one could be worth.
You could
Um,
definitely sell for around 12, 13K.
uh, well, I'm gonna keep it till it's like 500,000.
500,000.
Yeah,
Yeah, the whole thing is the
I mean,
argument whether you should have coins or whether you should hold your domains.
uh, I have my opinion on this, but anyway, I want to say my friend, like, he was getting the same double emojis. He's selling them
Mm,
for 5K now. He made like 50,000 HNS selling the same multiple emojis in last 2 months, just
yeah,
flipping.
that's crazy.
And I think maybe I was stupid, but maybe not. I feel I'm pretty good with combos. Like, I have good
Mm,
combos, right? And
mm.
but no one is interested in this combos. So
You know,
um
that's the biggest opportunity right now is to get these things that will go up with utility.
yeah,
However, since we're only about scarcity right now because there's no utility, then no one values it. So
yeah.
what you're doing right now and what you're accumulating is actually the strategy you should go towards. And that's why I've been accumulating some other types of names, which I can discuss later if you want.
So you
Um,
don't want to show publicly?
no, no, no. I mean later in this podcast if you want. If you
Oh,
want me to
okay.
go into that.
Yeah. I'd
On
love to know what you owe.
yeah. So my best domain is Bitcoin in Chinese. So I bought that. Um, I bought that. I'll show you. Hold on. I'll show you what price
I
and
have some
when.
more. So I owe all-time high, and I spent like, yeah, I total spent maybe 5,000, 50,000 HNS on my domains before.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
was
So
at
this is
high, and
Bitcoin.
I was buying a lot of HNS at actually 70 cents too. Like,
Wow.
yeah,
So this Bitcoin in Chinese, right? I copped it for like almost 8K HNS.
expensive.
At the time, it was only worth in USD terms, it was like 2.2K. So in
Yeah.
Aussie dollars, 2.5. So yeah, I bought it then because I've like think about how much that'll be worth in English, a language which is almost as widely used as Chinese, in accordance to like amount of people who speak it. Um, and imagine how much that would be worth in English, right? That would be worth, I don't know, like 80K or whatever, maybe more. NFT went for 80K, so maybe Bitcoin would go for like 150K.
Hmm.
So if you think about it in that term, and the fact that no one pays attention to IDNs at the moment, literally no one. Like I'm collecting stats on that. I'll release a trend report soon. Is a really really bullish thing, and when demand starts picking up and this game of scarcity begins in IDNs, so people will go for single words like they did in English, then naturally the price floor is going to increase, and it's going to be. I hope it's going to be a really good flip. So that's what I'm waiting on.
Yeah, I'm holding now. I think I have some really good names, but I'm not in rush to sell it, right? Like, I mean, like, If it goes to zero, it's fine. Like
Mm.
if it collapse, but the, I'm willing to risk. I don't care, because I
Yeah.
always say I don't have the debit, like nothing. It's I gambled, right? And
Mm.
maybe I will
You
win
won.
in this
Well, you
in this
already won.
gambling. Yeah, like I'm not really losing. I can flip some domains, so I don't need to buy more HNS because the flipping domains that I don't want is
Mm.
okay for me. So I
Yeah, yeah.
still am able to increase the HNS I hold.
How
Uh,
many names do you register each day? So like what's your methodology? Do you just like spam whatever names you think are good on a day and like spam them all at one time, or do you add to your watch list and just do it periodically?
I was I think people might not get what we're talking about now, but I think we'll get as longer my channel exists because
Mm.
so I had time when I would open 100 auctions in a day in like 1 hour. I would be doing this in the morning of my time because the auction would end in the evening of my time, and I didn't know everything well, so probably sometimes I outbeat myself, which was
Mm.
stupid. Like I wasn't thinking much, but so now I sometimes check ending soon. I sniper someone.
That's what I always do. That's what I always do.
I just check if there's interesting name, man. Like interesting name. Oh, you bet something. That's your favorite one. Go fuck yourself. I'm owning this. I don't care. Easy. I don't care. They can hate me. People outbeat me too. I had some really great combos. So I had whiskey and ice. It's a great combo.
Yeah, that's good.
And I was like leaving home. It was like 4 hours till the end of the auction. And I made like big beats. On this one, I had the colorful drink plus sun. It was quite good combos, right? And it wasn't last minutes or anything, last blocks. It was still few hours. And sometimes Namebase doesn't work very well.
Mm.
All of my beads were returned, didn't go through.
Oh.
I lost all of these auctions. I was so angry. Like,
You know why? Because they have to batch your bids into one transaction. A lot of the times name-based bids don't go through. So,
yeah,
for example, they're not gonna, if there's only a few bids at the time or something, or it's exceeded their sort of limit, then it's not going to go through. So using Bob Wallet's really, really fast. So there's none of this
yeah,
like centralized process.
yeah. I'm gonna switch to it because I need to move to the Bob Wallet. Well,
Coin.
I like to use Namebase. As I said, it's fun, and I think it's really good company. So I'm enjoying supporting Namebase.
Mm,
I
mm,
mean, I
mm.
want to give the good word. I will be supporting like Shakestats, because I
Thanks.
think these platforms are needed because not everyone will use Bob Wallet. But I have to move to the Bob Wallet. The things I don't want to sell,
Mm,
that is just like valuable because um, I'm not even saying like if there would be a very big adaptation, but if there would be a little bit of interest in the emojis or something, you see what happened to the CryptoPunks. We have
mm.
you heard of CryptoPunks, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
There's 10,000 CryptoPunks.
yeah.
Um, if you owe the emoji that is in popularity in top 100 emojis, that's quite fun to own. So
Mm.
this why you owe any right now.
Any emojis? I own just combos. So the funny thing is, I would have gone so hard on emojis, and after like a few of my sales, I sort of stopped. I should have just kept going hard, but
Yeah.
yeah, I got some combos, but only a few because I'm on Windows, and it always comes up with alt emojis when I copy and paste. If you're in Apple,
Oh wow.
um, natively, you have the correct ones.
Yeah.
So it sort of annoyed me, and I just stopped and I just started buying Chinese names. And But the combos I do have, one of them is the the kissing emoji, and then next to it a love heart, and I
Yeah,
think that's gonna go pretty hard.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
then I have an ape and a rocket. I think that's gonna go well.
Yeah.
And
So
then what else? I'm not sure what else. Yeah, those ones are
so
good.
my favorite ones, and someone is keep giving me offers on this. I'm not letting this go that cheap. I have grapes and
Mm.
wine.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
grapes and glass of wine. It's like it could be winery, like anything.
Yeah,
Or I
yeah,
have the, which is also quite good. I think my favorite combo is sushi and chopsticks. Like
yeah,
so, it
that's
was
good.
so I, but they're not popular at all. No interest. Like this, people prefer to buy 4 hammers. That combo that could
That
be,
was
you
Oh,
know,
did you see my tweet about that? I was like, I did a thread on how silly that is.
yeah, like I mean it might actually keep, like, if people pay for it, it's fine. Like, I mean, let's
Yeah, at the end
let
of the
them,
day, the market makes up its mind, but it's not
yeah,
always rational.
let them do it. But it's I just don't see value. I think like single
No,
emojis, like, fine. Maybe typing multiple the same emojis are is easy to do, right? So that's the good thing,
it's
because
literally That's literally the only reason this happened because everything is super gamified. It just feels like a game, right? People just
yeah.
spam, spam. They use bots. From the data we were collecting, we saw the amount of bots that were used. So, for example, on a particular day, so I was looking by day how many Chinese names were registered, and oh no, and then we did monthly as well. And in 1 month, there was like I think there was like 20. No, 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 no. There was like 2,500, right? When every other month was like 300. This was for Japanese. And for Chinese, there was like 15K in 1 month, right?
Wow.
And then
Yeah.
everything else is like 400. Everything else was like 3K, 2 to 3K.
Yeah.
And most of those were bots. I remember it was a huge spike on a specific hour, and everything else was flatlined.
It's good sign if the bots are engaged in the handshake. It means that some people see the value in it, and that's actually very encouraging. That this is very encouraging news. I want to ask, your Bitcoin, is it in simplified Chinese or traditional?
Simplified, not traditional. Simplified.
Okay,
Yes.
okay,
I looked
okay.
that up. I looked it up. Don't worry about it.
No, because I was living in Hong Kong, so they use traditional there, and I'm actually open beats for some traditional names because my girlfriend gave me traditional names. But
Oh, okay.
so they are usually more complicated, right? But the simplified is the one that is used widely.
Yeah, I remember I had to look that up because I was going. I initially thought traditional Chinese was the go, and
No.
then I started going hard I started going hard on them, but I didn't buy any on secondary market.
So
Just primary.
some people would feel offended, but there is opinions, right? Traditional is difficult.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
the mainland China, like, went with simplified, so even the uneducated people could write, because it usually,
Mm,
like, it's less. It's quite interesting thing, because, like, you have mainland China that uses simplified and speak Mandarin, because
mm.
you write and speak well, no, you write and speak English, right? So, but okay.
That's
I
so
wanted to
strange.
say you write and speak
Oh,
Australian, and I was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
okay. So in China, you have mainland China, they write simplified and they speak Mandarin.
Yeah.
In Hong Kong, they write traditional and speak Cantonese. Then when you
Mm.
go to Taiwan, they write traditional but speak Mandarin. So
Interesting.
the speaking language is separate from the written language completely,
Right.
because I don't know, it's like like, as I said, Taiwan, the speaking language is Mandarin, the same as the China, but
Mm.
written is different. is
Hmm.
traditional, and there's
That's
actually
interesting.
more dialects. There's like Fukian, and many other languages actually.
So, but most people can speak like the Beijing. I assume the Beijing Mandarin is like the.
Beijing is like very strong accent. So like Xi Jinping speak like this really, it's like a duck. Like it's like this, like very irritating for like the
I
dialect.
assume there's one version of Chinese which is like everyone just knows, right? It doesn't
It's
matter what dialect.
Mandarin in mainland China. In Hong Kong, let's say, but you have Guangdong. So the Guangdong province on the south traditionally is using Cantonese. Is
Mm,
Canton, right?
mhm,
The
mhm,
region there.
mhm,
But now,
mhm,
because of Shenzhen, from the small village in mainland China, become this big place. Now everyone use Mandarin because it was like
mm,
50,000 people before, and now it's like 12 million. So the
mm,
people who spoke Mandarin relocated there. But in Hong Kong is probably the last place that use Cantonese language on the daily basis.
mm,
My girlfriend, like, so some people don't know how to speak Mandarin, right? But my girlfriend can speak Mandarin because she learned at school. Some
mm.
people in Hong Kong don't want to use Mandarin actually,
Right, right.
because they, you know, they don't really don't
Like it.
necessarily want to be associated with it. It's like a long story, but like
Mm,
some people maybe sometimes even like there is a lot of Chinese tourists, like mainland Chinese, so they ask people from Hong Kong, so the Hong Kong person will respond in Mandarin and stuff, but like it's not
mm.
used. But maybe in the future, the Mandarin will be dominant language there. Who knows what will happen
Yeah,
in the
that's
future?
a really weird situation what's going on there. I
Yeah,
saw, yeah, I saw they're really against the CCP in Hong Kong, and they were having huge protests, absolutely
yeah. I
massive.
was there. I was there.
You were there?
I Yeah, because I was still in Hong Kong because it was pre-pandemic. As I said, I actually only traveled to Poland and I was unable to go back. That was
Mm.
that's only one reason. So I will show you when the protest started. Very strange,
That would have been
strange,
wild.
crazy. It was like 2 million people in the like when it's Hong Kong has like 7.5 million people, and you have 2 million people marching on the street, 30% of population. It's crazy. I never seen something so let me share it. I
They
just
still
shared
got
it.
taken over,
Sorry.
and they still lost.
Yeah, so that's so you see, like I not sure if you can see now. So
Wow,
insane, um
insane.
it was the first day they start using the tear gas. I
Yeah.
was I was so shocked because I thought it will be just peaceful protest. It was the like second day they were protesting because they wanted to pass this day the not security law. It was the uh, to be able to deport people. What was this? So the Hong Kong wanted to pass the kind of law that so that they could request or deport people who would commit the crime, because the Hong Kong doesn't actually have agreements with many people. So let's say if I commit the crime in Poland and I would escape to Hong Kong, I cannot be deported.
Mm,
But
mm,
Hong Kong
mm,
people were not happy about this because it would also mean ability to deport to China, to mainland
mm,
China, because there's no agreement with mainland China between Hong Kong and mainland China.
mm,
So because it would mean many political people would. So this was initial protest, and since then many things changed. Sometimes later, pandemic started, and all of the other stuff. But it was crazy, like really, so many people. And I was thinking it will be fine because Hong Kong always was this strongly deregulated. There was different opinions. So the pandemic started, and they just start passing the laws, and now, so if you go to Hong Kong and you will offend the mainland China, or you will put the slogan like independent Hong Kong or something, this is the
Yeah.
crime. This is the crime, and you can go to prison. But I was thinking at first, because I was thinking maybe it's fine, right? But then Poland has security law. I'm pretty sure Australia has security law. If you go with the slogan and you will shout independence for Melbourne, they will be like, yeah, that's fine. They will not even arrest you,
Yeah.
because it's actually breaching the security law. But it will be like, it's too silly to arrest. But in Hong Kong, you're like, for this, you would be now accused for conspiring against one country, two systems, like, and hurting one, like, so. But there are people who think differently than me. I try to speak like objectively. I can tell you, my girlfriend want to move out now. Just that she doesn't want. But I heard the opinions that Hong Kong people are just like brainwashed because they were colony so much, and they were like, but I heard these people, of white people who live there for a very long time, they would have this opinion. Hong Kong always liked to protest, but it was this special place, maybe with no identity. And I think the Hong Kong, I don't know how it is now, because I haven't been there for 1 year. Amazing place for doing business, people, food, like, especially the money. Hong Kong is jacked with money, man. Like, so much cash is there. It's like, but anyway, maybe it's a boring subject.
No, I really, I like talking about international sort of things occurring. I was a traveler. Well, not a traveler. I was traveling with my mom when I was a kid, everywhere. We went to many, many places, and it's just, it's interesting to see how people live differently and how there's different political systems and things of that nature. I think, speaking from living somewhere in the West, we're so ignorant to these facts, we really, like, I think one of the biggest points of ignorance is, one, not knowing the severity of certain issues in other countries, or two, thinking that the West is just supreme in everything. You know how many people that hold that opinion, they wouldn't say it like that, but inadvertently they really do think like that. Like,
the feeling of the feeling of superiority is so funny. Like, this is like, I want to, but anyway, like, many people, when they speak of Hong Kong, they think it's some crazy state now. It's not. People, like my friends, foreigners, they live there. It's completely fine. It's not like it's some crazy state. They changed the laws, and many people don't like it. And if you do certain things, you would get arrested. But living in Hong Kong is still pretty cool. If I would be living there, I can do everything, right? It's not that I'm under some crazy state. No, it doesn't look like this. The world doesn't look that way,
Have they implemented a social credit system yet?
No, I don't think Hong Kong will do it. China has it.
But didn't China take over?
So, Hong Kong people still have separate passport, and there's still border.
Okay.
So, the thing is, Hong Kong went to China hands in 1997 from being British colony. Since then, Hong Kong didn't really change. They keep the British laws, and also Hong Kong never had security law. So you could be a spy for Australia, and you could spy in Hong Kong, and you would be unable to be accused to spying against China, because Hong Kong didn't have this law. So you could do everything there. So the thing is bringing security law useful? Probably. The question is about execution of the law, because it's different to be charged with spying, and it's different to be charged with holding banner. So the thing is that this law seems to reach maybe quite far, right? There's some politicians, it was funny, some politician was saying that the showing the same-sex marriage in the Hong Kong TV is breaching national security law.
Mm.
But also it's important to understand that this security law in Hong Kong is not the same that China has. It has to have everything separate. So it's like
Yeah.
separate entity, and it still operates under the separate laws, but the changes that happen in Hong Kong are quite severe. And because of this, every day on the Hong Kong airport, people leave with one-way ticket. So this is the thing. But this is funny, like how the West thinks is superior, right? The West would think maybe Hong Kong is like some Chinese place.
Yeah.
When I moved to Hong Kong, I felt poor all the time. I felt so poor, and
Yeah,
all of the foreigners are just poor. Hong Kong people are so rich, just so rich. It's just like different level rich. Like this is like in some places when you see Rolls Royce on the street, it's like special. In Hong Kong, you don't care because you see Rolls Royce 10 times every day. Like Hong Kong, like I think in Hong Kong there's like 3,000 Lamborghinis in small
3,000.
Yeah, in this small piece of land or something like this.
I don't know the average Lamborghini per capita, right? But it seems impressive.
Yeah, I don't even know, but you see it every day.
Yeah.
So then you go to other place and it's not impressive. People will be like, this country is rich. Hong Kong is rich. Like this is.
I feel like it would be a really bad place to live, for people who are earning just an average wage.
Horrible.
Given that the real estate would be like through the roof because all these really, really rich businessmen come over there and they flood the markets. So similar things happening in Melbourne.
So Australia is we changed the subject a little bit from the crypto. Australia is the second maybe the most expensive housing market after Hong Kong. Yeah, so it is, if you work in 7-Eleven, which is like convenience store, you make maybe 14,000 Hong Kong dollars, which would be 3,000 Australian.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to live with.
You can't. No one makes 3K a year here.
A month.
A month. I guess. Well, the minimum wage here is around on an hourly rate is like $22 an hour.
Yeah. So
$20 an hour. Let's say. Let me do some math here.
So the minimum wage in Hong Kong is 40 Hong Kong dollars. Which is let me. I'm pretty sure.
The minimum wage is like 45K here.
So imagine Hong Kong is a rich place, right? It's super capitalistic though. So minimum wage in Hong Kong is seven Australian dollars an hour. And
how much are the groceries and stuff though?
Can be cheap and can be much more expensive. So the dairy products much more expensive than in Australia.
Right. Wow.
But there is the things that are cheap. So you actually need to live with parents because let's say you work in the grocery store and you make like let's say 3,000 Australian dollars a month.
Yeah.
You can't rent the house for this. You can't. It's impossible. So Hong Kong is also like the developed place that has the highest inequalities in the world. So they're like super rich, and people who are poor. That's the weird thing about Hong Kong. The wages are quite low, but when you go to the banking sector, the wages are crazy. The wages are like in deep in the thousands, and managers of the banks, because it's the one gateway to the Chinese market. The IPOs that happen in Hong Kong are usually larger than the IPOs, initial public offerings, that happen in US quite often. Massive, all of the Alibaba all of this is like it's double listing, but these massive companies are listed in Hong Kong. So this is great place for stock market, for the raising money and stuff like this. For the living, difficult, very difficult place. That's why many young people will be leaving for this. It just so my question is, because Hong Kong was the trading port. When the China took over, there was the competition from the mainland Chinese cities. So Hong Kong transformed into financial center. But now there is also again changes in Hong Kong. The Hong Kong becoming more Chinese, so the Hong Kong needs to transform again. And I'm looking to see if Hong Kong will lose its position or will transform in something that can be vibrant. I don't know.
I don't know the exact implications of becoming more Chinese, but yeah, I have no idea. But I guess my point of view is, like, for growth, whatever they're doing now, or prior, I don't know if it's changed, is like ideal, right? But yeah, for inequalities is extremely bad. Given that Chinese is communist, I think, well, they're weird. They're like communists and capitalists at the same time. It's just such an interesting system. I think they would give like accommodation to the lower class citizens or something. I have no clue.
I
But
don't think they do it, like, because they pretty in Hong Kong will not hide the poverty, but China hide poverty.
Yeah.
A lot of gangs, a lot of illegal. Like I tell you one thing, which is very strange about Hong Kong.
Yeah.
When there's Chinese New Year, there's a lot of restaurants in Hong Kong. There's 11,000 restaurants, which is like one restaurant for each 600 people. But so Hong Kong also have 50,000 triad members, the gangsters. So every time there's Chinese New Year, and there is the man who carry the little mandarin tree, which is traditional tree for Chinese New Year, and he go to the restaurants. Everyone has their own region, and he give it for Chinese New Year to the restaurant. So, and he go to every restaurant to collect the fee, protection fee. Normal.
Normal in Hong Kong.
Fully acceptable. The restaurants pay the fee. You have to pay yearly fee to the guy. It's not a fee. It's a gift. It's the Chinese. You give the red pocket to the triads.
Wow.
No one talk about it. So then it looks quite funny, because you go in Chinese New Year, every restaurant has the same looking tree outdoor. It's because these triad men go from the shop to collect the fee every year. Protection fee, right? You need to.
Yeah.
Everyone pay. It's normal. Everyone pay.
I know that.
Yeah, no one knows. It's like 1,000 Australian dollar. It's not very high. It's not very high fee. It's a gift. It's Chinese New Year gift. So Hong Kong has a lot of these things that are unthinkable, totally acceptable.
I've never seen the poor part of Hong Kong. That's the interesting part.
Yeah, it's mixed. It exists all together.
Right.
That's the.
It's not like a ghetto. It's not like a part of the city with ghettos or anything, right?
No. It's actually, you mentioned the cheap housing. Like, many people don't know it. Hong Kong, 60% of Hong Kong is public housing.
Oh,
60% of all housing is public. So this is
that's so weird. Like, this place confuses me. Like, they have all this ultra capitalistic, ultra capitalistic business conditions and tax and all that, and then they have all this socialized housing. It makes no sense.
Well, it's so 40% of housing is private, and this is so expensive, right?
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
So to qualify to the public housing, you need to be below certain level, and 60% of people live in the public housing. You still have to pay for it. But let's say you pay 2,000 Hong Kong dollars, which is like 400 Australian dollars for public housing a month.
Yeah.
So in private housing, the same type of house would be maybe 2,000 Australian, maybe more, right? But
Mm.
you cannot sell it. You can only sell it to you can only sell it to Hong Kong person. You can buy it for the lower price. And most of the people live in the public housing that is cheaper. They still will complain it's so expensive, so expensive. But
Yeah.
it's not that bad. But public housing is substantially worse. And as I said, most of the buildings you will see in Hong Kong is public housing.
Mm.
So
Yeah, that's imagine how bad it would be if you just miss the threshold in order to get the public housing, and then you have to pay for that expensive housing in Hong Kong. That would be such a big dispersion.
yeah, I mean, the waiting list is like years. So there's many homeless people who wait for
Yeah.
public housing. But the
Wow.
homeless people in Hong Kong are like really legit. Like they wash themselves, they cook, they don't drink alcohol, they do
Wow.
laundry. They just cannot afford the house. This is
Wow.
so
That sounds like such a weird place. I'd actually like to study. It would be really, really interesting to study the economic conditions and like legal setup of every country, because I don't hear about this as a Westerner. I
yeah.
don't hear about.
My sister visited me. Homeless person in Poland is like stinky, alcoholic.
Mm, mm,
And she was surprised because we were passing next to the tent, and the man was like drying his clothes after laundry, having a
mm,
nap, but
mm.
his clothes were like nice, tidily
Yeah,
done, and everything was cool.
yeah.
He just, and maybe he was foreign worker. So if you can't get this, uh, if you can't get this public housing, like, yeah, you will spend 60% or 70% of your salary sometimes on the house. You can also live in subdivided flat, which is tiny, tiny, tiny,
Mm,
and very yeah, weird thing. Like, also, like, the other thing, like, if I live in Australia for 5 years, I can
mm,
try to get citizenship, right?
mm.
And the passport. You are citizen of Australia, right? You were not born
Yeah,
there.
I became a citizen when I was 7 years old. So it took 4 years.
Yeah, in Hong Kong,
Yeah.
you cannot do it.
Really?
There are people who are born in Hong Kong and they don't have Hong Kong passport, and they
What?
are not considered Chinese.
Sounds a lot worse to live there now. I ain't gonna lie. I used to.
I mean, it's just the law. I
Yeah.
cannot ever get the Hong Kong passport ever, because Hong Kong passport can only get Chinese national. The same with
Mm,
Chinese passport. In
mm.
order to be Chinese national, you have to drop your previous nationality. You have to be patriotic to China, and the most important thing, but there is few exemptions of that, is you have to have Chinese blood in you.
Huh. What if you have
It's,
1%?
then you can sort it out, probably. So that's the
I'm gonna be Chinese now. Let's go.
yeah. So speak too much on this, but I should actually split it in separate things. But I like to talk about different places and
Yeah,
experiences.
it's really
Australia is
interesting.
pretty Chinese.
Yeah, we have a big Asian population. Well, Asian population in general, mainly Chinese. A large Vietnamese population as well, and then Indian. Those are like probably the biggest three, I would say.
It's
Yeah.
good for the food, is it?
Oh man, the food goes hard. The food goes
Yeah.
crazy. I live in an area right next to like this big Vietnamese community, and man, the food is bussin'. It goes hard.
Yeah, that's the most important, and this is what is so annoying about Poland. We don't have anyone. It's all white here.
Yeah.
The food is disgusting.
Oh, I
Man,
talk the same about Romanian food. The funny
man,
part is
come
about
on.
Romania, all the food we got in Romania that's good came from the Ottoman Empire. Even though
Yeah,
we have beef with them, but like that's just the truth. Like we have mici, which is like the sausage. Like, have you had chevaps in like Serbia or something? I don't know. It's this meat sausage, and then we have cabbage rolls, which is called sarmale, and then all these things that are great in Romanian, they came from the Ottoman Empire. All the things that we have from Romania natively is soup, right? And then we have like, I don't know, roast lamb and like all this other stuff.
And I bet people are very proud of their cuisine there.
Oh, very. And
the same.
I mean,
it's so
good.
So proud.
It's good soup. It's good soup and it's good lamb and stuff, but it's nothing flashy, you know?
Yeah, it's nothing like eating good Japanese ramen.
Yeah, no.
Man, that's the cuisine. Fresh sushi.
Yeah.
That's the cuisine. That's what I'm like.
Yeah.
You know, like the texture of Hong Kong food, the dim sum, all this stuff. Like we don't have this. We have overcooked shit. Like it's just
100%. Yeah. In Australia, we have whatever you want. It's like no problem.
Yeah, it's. I believe Melbourne like would be. I want to visit. I will. I will hit you up when I'm in Melbourne.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, come through. Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. See. I want to say that I probably need to go, but
it's been 2 hours. And,
yeah. But yeah, thank you for having me on. Thank you for listening, guys. If anyone is still watching,
4 people is impressive. Like I have some people that really will watch it.
That's good.
And there will be more. I think the first part for whoever is interested in Handshake.
Yeah.
I wanted to speak on Shakestats, but maybe for the next time we can
next
do it
time.
Again.
Yeah, next time. Go on Shakestats.com if you want any rankings, any data related to Handshake. You can search any name and you find whatever you want. We have a tool where you can search a keyword. It comes up with any name within that includes that keyword. It's great. You can search by date, everything. So we're the #1 place for that.
And to learn about what is Handshake, I would say go to Handshake, read what is Handshake, go to Namebase and watch the Johnny videos because he's really like nicely explained the Handshake, what is not Handshake. So educate yourself and
include Mike Michelini. He's really, really good as well.
Oh yeah, I spoke to him on Telegram. He lives in China, I think. Anyway.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah. I will ask you next time about these big wallets that hold 15 million Handshake. That's
yeah. Did you look at our wallets on the site?
Yeah, I checked the rich list. 15 million.
Yeah. Crazy.
I'm interested. Who's that? I'm gonna get there.
Oh, maybe we'll reveal next time. Look, I'm definitely down to do like a whole trading segment with you to show.
Yeah,
exactly
so like
that.
I was thinking we actually will cover all of this stuff, but we changed the subject, so it's fine. We're gonna do it again. Maybe not that long. We will focus just on the trading, like trading domains, best strategies, how to do it, and would be cool to hear that from you. So thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
No worries. I'm gonna share it on Twitter and I'm gonna share it through the Handshake community. Maybe more people will talk, so like we can actually talk much more. You really did great in explaining the questions I had. So thank you for this. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your evening.
No, you too. Have a great day. See ya.